Because President Trump, he was issuing several warnings. He even said that I warned Nicolas Maduro a week prior and told him to leave, and he didn't. The whole details of this is incredible. But it's important to note, and this is where we're going to highlight what I've been reporting to you guys, because again, it's fair and balanced, and I'm not going to BS you. I told you on this show that I didn't understand why we were really going after those drug boats for fentanyl. Because Venezuela really isn't producing and pushing out fentanyl like they were trying to describe, and it didn't make sense. In fact, I think it's less than 10% of fentanyl comes from Venezuela, which obviously is still significant, but it's not as significant as earning the entire, or we'll just say the attention of the Pentagon and the president. But the indictment itself doesn't talk about fentanyl. It's focused on cocaine. It's focused on the conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. So that's something to just keep in the back of your head. Now, again, Cubans were killed in all of this. And if you're wondering why, well, apparently, and again, this is my Eric Prince thing. Eric Prince was one of the individuals who came out there and said, I believe Cubans are actually guarding Maduro. I think that was what his point on Bannon was. And, well, it seems to be true. Cuba has officially announced that 32 citizens were killed by U.S. military operations that captured Nicolas Maduro. The deceased were apparently personnel from the Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces. So again, keep that in mind. That is incredible. Now, I know I heard Lindsey Graham say, Cuba, you're next. He would love nothing more. Love nothing more. But we'll play President Trump's reaction to that as well in a little bit. But again, let's focus on however you feel about this. I mean, this, as the Biden regime really embarrassed this country when it came to our military. Degraded them by forcing them to focus on DEI. Elevating those biological men who chopped off their genitals and pretended to be women. Now we have a new administration really making sure ensuring that our military strength is top priority. When I was at the Pentagon, they made that clear. And everyone who's behind the headset, the Department of War Secretary. Gotta say that, can't say the other title, that's no longer. Well, they were all on board with this plan. I want to play clip number 3. That's the President of the United States who is reacting to the capture of Nicolas Maduro. Take a listen.
It was a very dangerous operation. They got on the ground. Amazing talent. Tremendous patriotism, bravery. Bravery was incredible. Lindsay, they got off the helicopter and the bullets were flying all over the place. As you know, one of the helicopters got hit pretty badly. But we got everything back, and nobody knows.
As you heard, obviously, one of the helicopters really getting a beat down. But folks, the fact that those men did not leave a piece of military equipment behind and were able to do all of this without one American losing their lives, I have to say, is absolutely incredible. So if you're waking up this morning, you should be prideful of this country. Regardless of how you feel about this will send a clear message to our adversaries. Don't F with the United States. Because if you do not take our warning seriously, well, Delta Force will come and capture you. Now listen, there's a lot to be worried about. And again, I'm not 100% on board with what's happening as of right now, but let me just present all the facts to you first. The clip 2, President Trump is saying who's really going to be running Venezuela over these next few weeks. And this one's got a lot of us concerned. Take a listen.
The next question is who's in charge of Venezuela right now? Have you spoken to the newest president there, Rodriguez? And what are your thoughts on the entire situation? You said the U.S. would run Venezuela.
We're dealing with people. Don't ask me who's in charge. We're in charge.
We are in charge, according to the president. Now, again, they have a so so-called individual who has now taken over. Again, the last election is not recognized by many countries because they do believe it was rigged. And this isn't the first time Nicholas Maduro has done just that. Delcy Rodriguez is the woman now claiming to be the leader of Venezuela. And it's interesting because yesterday on Instagram, she did post, actually, we consider the early hours of this morning. She's now invited the United States government to come forward and collaborate with her. She's looking forward to sharing the developments within the framework of international law to strengthen lasting community coexistence. AKA, she's afraid. And she knows that she's not going to be running this country for much longer. You see, right now, it's quite obvious the Venezuelan military, even with the Cubans helping them out, they were not prepared. They were not prepared. And so everyone in Venezuela right now really is on high alert. I think it's so impressive, man, on what they were able to execute. Not a single leak between here and the Iranian strikes. And again, you guys know I was very hesitant about the Iranian strikes, but man, not a single leak from this administration. And on top of it, they were able to execute it again without a single American losing their lives. I just can't get over that. And it's only been a couple of months since Pete Hegseth has taken on this role over the Pentagon. So keep that in mind. Now, President Trump, again, he had a lot to say yesterday. We're just playing throughout the show. But it's really important that you hear from the president because in clip 3, he's also talking about the woman now, the acting Venezuelan leader, Delcy Rodriguez. Now, I don't imagine she's going to be sitting there much longer. There were reports, I believe, that she was fleeing and that she was going to go to Russia. But again, that not confirmed. She's claiming still to be the leader. But take a listen to clip 3 when President Trump addresses her.
You said that she would face the same fate, if not worse, than
Worse.
her. But it sounds like you're talking to her on the phone in Blank are considering her power. Can you just clarify where you stand on Delcy Rodriguez?
I don't have to tell you. I just say that she will face a situation probably worse than Maduro. Because Maduro gave up immediately.
So she
He
also
raised his hand, he gave up. And he did the right thing, but he gave up. So we were so effective, and it was so fast and violent. It was very violent. But we were so effective, he raised his hands and gave up.
So you know the president over there saying just that. Again, I don't speak over well for her. I assume that she would be stepping down momentarily, but we'll have to sit there and see because, again, he's afraid. She's on edge. Now, of course, those in left-wing media really aren't happy with this because they have to actually be transparent. They actually have to tell you, well, the Trump administration did a great job. And there's a small group of Democrats that will do just that because, again, keep in mind, we'll go into detail about this in a little bit, but Nicholas Maduro, under the Biden regime, was a wanted man. $25 million was the price tag on his head. So now they've been able to capture him in the Trump administration. Well, they can't really give them full credit. So what you have, those Democrats who are disguising themselves as corporate media journalists, well, you have them trying their best to blow punches, and they did so with the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, yesterday, and they tried their best to pretend like this wasn't that impressive. Take a listen to clip 4.
He's still in place. The defense minister, who has deep ties to Russia, $15 million price on his head, he is still in place. I'm confused. Are they still wanted by the United States? Why didn't you arrest them if you are taking out the narco-terrorist regime?
You're confused? I don't know why that's confusing to you.
They're still in
I mean,
power.
It's very simple. You're not going to go in and then grab them. But you can't go. You're going to go in and suck up 5 people. They're already complaining about this one operation. Imagine the howls we would have from everybody else if we actually had to go and stay there 4 days to capture 4 other people. We got the top priority. The number 1 person on the list was the guy who claimed to be the president of the country that he was not. and he was arrested along with his wife, who was also indicted. And that was a pretty sophisticated and frankly complicated operation.
It was.
It is not easy to land helicopters in the middle of the largest military base in the country. The guy lived on a military base. Land within 3 minutes, kick down his door, grab him, put him in handcuffs, read him his rights, put him in a helicopter, and leave the country without losing any American or any American assets.